whether it is a startup, it's a mid-scale or a big companies, there are many projects and products. They have monolith services and microservices.
Mhm.
This topic brings next question. Like many people, they always think monolith is bad. So when they see a code base, they see it's a monolith, they see it's outdated. This is not a good design. Just kill it. Other way around as well. Sometimes you see microservices which is not well designed, and again, I wouldn't go into that part, what is a well-designed microservice, but if it is too scattered, too scared, and that means there is too much work to be done. So they want to go back from microservice to monolith. And this article itself is pushing into that one. Like people are getting sick, like supporting document, like, you know why this microservice approach is bad? Because look, Amazon did this and they save 90%. So my
Yes.
question to you is how other architects, software developers, solution architects, they should pursue this, and what should be the trigger point for them to rethink about their current architecture?
Let me start this way. I think that specifically serverless and Lambda, or what is it called, Azure Functions or Google Cloud Run, there is a threshold. At some point, this is more expensive than running your own instance. That's a well-known threshold. You can do a pretty simple calculation up front and say, at that number of requests, it's getting more expensive to simply run this with serverless than it is to do it on I don't know, some server that just runs this as a deployed piece of code. That's a simple calculation that you can do.
Okay.
That could be your trigger point to say, hey, you know what? Right now, serverless, we have the knowledge in the team, we're really fast, we can deploy faster, we can really crank out features and stay stable, and everything is nice and beautiful. And when we start approaching that threshold, then let's think about how to migrate between those options. That is, I think, one good thing to do that. Another thing that I personally believe to be true is, when should I refactor? Is in my organization, that discussion, at least that discussion by proxy, is happening quite often. Like, oh, we need to have a plan, we need to have an architecture, then it's stable for some time, and then 3 years later we can make the next change because stability above all. But I don't think that it is a choice between good architecture and stability. That's not either or. I think if you start refactoring all the time, you make way smaller changes and you have a way more fluid architecture. That doesn't mean that it's Monday morning and you run on Postgres and have, I don't know, Ruby on Rails and do whatever migration framework they have built into Ruby on Rails. And then on Tuesday, you throw everything away and run for Google's Go and drop all ORM stuff and change from Postgres to MariaDB or whatever. That's not re-architecturing. That's just tearing down the world and rebuilding it. Re-architecturing can be as simple as making a pull request that changes a small part. And if you do that every day, 6 months later, you might have changed the architecture way more than by planning for 3 months what could be your new target architecture and crushing another 3 months with I don't know how many people trying to implement what you thought about initially.
Yeah, but I hear you.